Good evening, everybody. This is Tara here. I'm just sitting here. It's a Sunday evening, and I am completely surrounded by clouds outside. It feels like I'm living in a cloud. But I thought I would take this opportunity to share some oils with you. What I wanted to do is run through the family physician kit, because a lot of you who I have been speaking with recently have just recently bought this kit. You're just starting with these oils, and I thought it would be a good idea to just go over each and every one of them again to make sure that you feel clear about how to use them and all their different uses. Okay, so I'm just going to give a really brief run through, and then obviously at any point at all you can contact me and ask questions and share. Okay, so the first one we're going to start with in the family physician kit is lemon. So lemon is an amazing oil for focus. They call it the oil of focus, in fact. It's very uplifting, so all the citruses generally tend to be very uplifting to the heart, uplifting to the spirit and the mind. If we're feeling a bit low energetically, or also emotionally, if we're feeling a bit depressed, you can use lemon to help just lift your spirit once again. It's a lovely oil. You can use it in the diffuser at home. So this will help to elevate the mood, and it will also help to clean any airborne bacteria, so it can purify the atmosphere, lemon in the diffuser. I take a drop of it, a couple of drops every morning in some hot water. This just really helps to kind of wake me up, and it's just really zingy and helpful for energy, for waking up. And then I do have a few friends who are using this oil with their children who are struggling at school or having some learning difficulties, or maybe on the dyslexia spectrum, and they are using this with their kids on the soles of their feet. And then in the diffuser before school and after school when they're doing their homework. And it's a really amazing aid. It's proving to be a really amazing aid for children with learning difficulties. So with lemon, you can use it on the skin, you can take it internally, and you can use it aromatically in a diffuser. When you use it on the skin, as with all the citruses, you want to be careful about sun exposure. So it's obviously sun sensitive. So if you're using it on the skin, then I would put it in areas that are not going to be exposed to the sun. And if you are in a very sunny country and all areas of the skin are exposed to the sun, then you need to leave 12 hours minimum between applying lemon to your skin and then going out into the sun. For children, you're always looking at diluting the lemon oil. You never want to put it straight on the skin. Dilute with a carrier oil. You can use coconut oil, almond oil, or whatever you have at home. Okay, so lemon is the first one in our kit. So talking about citruses, I'm going to continue along that line, and I'm going to share with you a blend called On Guard. Okay, if you can see it there, On Guard. So On Guard is amazing for the immune system, and it's a really great immune support. It has wild orange in it. It has rosemary and eucalyptus. It has some clove in there. So because it's got clove in, it's also very good for oral healthcare. You can make a mouthwash out of it. doTERRA do a toothpaste in this oil, with this oil, flavoring the toothpaste with this oil, which is amazing. I love it. So I use On Guard, for example, before I travel. I use it internally, drop under the tongue, or in like a canteen. Here we go. Like a flask like this. I'll put a few drops and I'll sip that while I'm traveling, or I'm in areas which, there are a lot of people there, and maybe you're breathing in recycled air or in air conditioning. So I find On Guard a really useful support while I'm traveling. And then also it's just great for colds and flu. If your whole family, your whole house is ill, I would have this in the diffuser constantly just to clean the air. You can put it on the soles of your feet before you go to bed to help you, to help your immune system overnight while you're sleeping. You can put it in tea. It's got a really nice kind of Christmassy smell because of the clove. Again, with children, you'll be wanting to dilute. If you're putting it on their skin, I would always go to the soles of the feet when applying oils to children's skin. And on guard, you definitely want to dilute because it's got some hot oils in there, like clove. So yeah, you can also put it on your glands, for example, if you have any kind of like gland issues, bronchitis, but again, dilute on the skin for adults as well. Okay, so On Guard is an amazing immune support and great during the winter months. So I'm going to share with you now another blend, which is called Digest Zen. This is one of the first oils that I used. There you go, Digest Zen. It's probably all back to front. So Digest Zen, what does it have in it? It's a blend of ginger, peppermint, caraway, coriander, anise, tarragon, and fennel. Okay, amazing for the digestive system. Basically does what it says on the tin. You can rub it on your belly when you're having any digestive issues, literally just on the kind of intestinal region. You can use it internally, a drop under the tongue or in a tea or like just kind of hot water. You can put it on the soles of your feet as well. I would say this is one of the blends that I use most often. After a heavy meal, just a drop under the tongue or a drop in my water. And then also kind of if I have a late meal, which is very common here in Spain, we generally tend to eat our dinner far too late. So yeah, I would rub some on my belly, again in a carrier oil, to support any digestive issues. So this is really great for people suffering from IBS, from Crohn's. It's also really useful if you've had parasites at all, if you've been away traveling and you've had like a tummy bug, or you've come back with a few, friendly guests in your intestines. Digest Zen is a really useful aid. It's very fennelly and kind of licoricey. So I love that because I grew up with a Dutch mother eating licorice every Christmas. So I'm very accustomed to that taste. But if you're not so into that, then you've got peppermint oil instead, which I'll share now. So this also comes in the family physician kit. As you can see, they're all 5 milliliter bottles. So they're kind of like taster, starter sizes, really. The kind of more common size is 15 milliliter, but you get 10 in this pack, and it's just a great way to start just trying out the different ones and seeing what you're drawn to. So as I was saying, you can use peppermint if you're not into Digest Zen and you're not into the kind of more licoricey fennel tasting oil. You can use peppermint instead, because peppermint is it's amazing for calming any digestive upset, for helping with acid reflux, and any kind of acidity in the stomach. It's a great breath freshener after a garlicky meal. You can make a mouthwash with it and just gargle with it. It's also very cooling. So peppermint is very cooling to the system. If you generally have like a lot of fire or heat, peppermint is a great oil to work with just to cool slightly. So for all of you who have a lot of pitta in Ayurveda, then peppermint could be interesting to help you just balance that fire. You can use it on the back of the neck as well if you have a tendency to have hot flushes. You can use it on your temples and on your forehead if you have migraines or headaches. It's a really amazing aid for headaches because it brings oxygen to the brain. So you just want to be a little careful when you put it on your forehead. You want to be a little careful around your eyes, not to get the vapor into your eyes, because it can just make your eyes water. Then again, peppermint is an amazing aid for the respiratory system. So you can put it in a diffuser. If you're suffering from a lot of congestion or sinusitis, for example, colds, flus, peppermint can just really help to open up the airways. And you can even just take a sniff directly from the bottle. Yeah, it's very kind of opening and stimulating. Like the citrus fruits, the mints are also very uplifting to the spirit and uplifting to the mind. So if you're feeling low energetically, if you're feeling low emotionally, I would be using citruses and mints every day just to help kind of lift you, elevating the mind and the spirits. Once again, the amazing little kind of remedies, natural remedies for just helping our emotions stay balanced. So I'm going to continue with breathe, as we were talking about the respiratory system. Breathe is a blend especially made to support the respiratory system. So breathe contains kind of everything that you would associate with opening the airways. So you've got eucalyptus in there, you've got mint, laurel, you've got some lemon in there, ravensara, cardamom, and rosemary, I think, as well. So this is specifically blended to support any kind of respiratory problems, but also kind of allergies. So if you are prone to suffering from asthma or any kind of like pollen sensitivity or kind of, anything to do with the respiratory system, anything that irritates or aggravates the respiratory system, then I would really recommend using Breathe. Breathe you can't take internally. It's just for external use, topical use, and for aromatic use. So again, you can put it in the diffuser and just diffuse it throughout the house during those kind of winter months, or when there's illness and congestion in the body. You can also put do like a kind of face bath. You can put a few drops in hot water in your sink and just steam your face, inhaling deeply the air. That's a really nice way to work with it. And then also you can use it with children, for example. You can massage it into their chests, again with a carrier oil, or into the soles of their feet, because it's quite a strong smelling oil. So sometimes some children might be very sensitive to the smell. So go-to is always the feet with kids. If they are finding it kind of overpowering, the smell, then you can just rub it into the soles of their feet. And again, you can use a carrier oil to do that. I love it. I think it's really a very intelligently put together blend. And my sister was using it recently on her baby boy because he had bronchiolitis, and she was using this regularly on the soles of his feet while he was in hospital as well, and on guard as well. She was combining both of them for his treatment, and they didn't have to take anything else, which is great. She just used essential oils to treat him. So I also I teach children yoga, and I do have some kids that have asthma, and ever since their mothers have been using Breathe, they've had to use their inhaler far less. So that's amazing. So any kind of asthmatic problems, I would really encourage the use of Breathe. Okie doke. So what's next? Let's share. Well, lavender is always a favorite. It's obviously one of the more well-known essential oils. And this particular lavender is one of my favorites. I've used lavender oil for many years, but there's just something very different in the quality and the kind of delicacy of the aroma that this particular lavender oil has. Lavender is amazing. Lavender is a kind of go-to for everything, really. You can use it on your skin. It's a very safe oil to use, undiluted. Amazing for any kind of skin issues, nappy rash, eczema, psoriasis, any irritation of the skin. It's great for helping heal wounds, cuts, burns. It's amazing for burns. Just put it directly on there. You can add it into your facial kind of creams. Yeah, so it's a kind of go-to for skin health and care. And emotionally, it's very calming. So a lot of people use this to help sleep. You can put a few drops on your pillow, you can put a few drops on your wrist points or on your chest before you go to bed. You can diffuse it in your room, your bedroom, before you go to bed. And it's just very, very stilling, very calming. Really helps in times of stress. I would compare it to Rescue Remedy from the Bach Flower range, just in terms of how it centers and calms and brings us back to kind of ourselves. You can use this internally. It's not probably the first, my kind of intuition in terms of using it. I would use it more topically or aromatically. It's also called the oil of communication. So lavender can just really help us to express ourselves. So for those people who struggle expressing their true feelings or who struggle in articulating how they feel, lavender can be an aid. And in those cases, I would be rubbing it on the heart space regularly, just to help kind of, energetically open that space and make you feel calmer and more at ease in expressing your truth. Lavender you can use very safely with children on their feet, on nappy rash and creams, and mixing it with other oils. It's basically kind of, if in doubt, use lavender. It's a real all-rounder. They also say that about frankincense, which I'm going to share with you next. Frankincense is what I would call an oil of light. Looks like this. It's just beautiful. I love this oil. It's amazing, again, for skincare. You can use it, you can add it into your creams, your kind of facial care routine. Also incredible for supporting our body and healing wounds, in scars as well. Stretch marks, lavender's great for that as well. Frankincense is, we know probably a little bit about it from our history books and from the Bible and from ancient Egypt. It kind of crops up time and time again in these ancient texts as a very holy oil, helping in aid sort of spiritual states or meditation. So I use it a lot in meditation, just put like a drop of it on the crown of my head, or I would rub it into my temples, for example, or put it in the diffuser when I'm doing a meditation practice. It's very good taken internally for cellular health. So any kind of illness or disease, we have to kind of look back or go right back to the cellular body and see what's happening there, because illness and disease at the root is what's happening is there's a miscommunication between the cells, or there's some erroneous information there occurring. And what frankincense can do is it can reach the cellular body, go right in there, contacting all of our cells, all of the millions of cells that we have in our body, and helping to deprogram the erroneous information there. And it's like it kind of gives our cellular body a sort of reset. So a drop under the tongue every day is amazing. It's an amazing support for cellular health, for immune health. They're doing a lot of research at the moment with the Johns Hopkins University on using frankincense oil in the fight against cancer, not only preventing cancer, but helping to cure it as well. So this is also a really essential oil to have just generally in your daily routines, self-care routines. I think I mentioned before, it's great for skincare, very good for calming and centering emotionally. Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's continue. So one of my lesser favorite oils, shall we say, is oregano. It's amazing. It has some incredible properties and benefits, but I struggle personally taking it internally. And yeah, just because of the taste, but it's also a very strong oil. It's very intense. It's very, you could even describe it as forceful. It really just cuts away all the fluff, oregano. It just cuts away all the kind of emotionally and spiritually. It just cuts away all the kind of negativity and gets right to the root of the issue. So actually, I'm going to share with you what it says from this book here, Emotions and Essential Oils. I'm going to share with you what it says about oregano, because it's always interesting when we have when there's a sort of strong reaction to an oil. Sometimes it's interesting to look at what it means emotionally. So oregano is the oil of humility and non-attachment. It removes blocks, clears negativity, and cuts away negative attachments. Oregano addresses a person's needs to be right. The individual in need of oregano may attempt to convert other people to their own fixed opinions. Their strong will can make them unteachable and unwilling to budge. They hold rigidly to their opinions and belief systems. However, oregano is resolute and has the power to break through a strong will. On the deepest level, oregano dispels materialism and attachment that hinders an individual's growth and progress. While using oregano, a person may feel encouraged to end a toxic relationship, quit an oppressive job, or end a lifelong addiction. These toxic attachments limit one's capacity to feel a healthy connection to the divine. Oregano encourages true spirituality by inviting the soul to live in non-attachment. So I always think it's interesting to look at what's going on emotionally there when there is a strong kind of aversion to an oil, and also when there's a strong desire to use an oil. So the physical benefits of oregano are mainly to do, I would say, with the immune system and the digestive system. This is an amazing, it's probably nature's most powerful antibiotic. So it's a really useful immune support, especially during the winter months. Especially, I used it when I was traveling in India, and when I was also traveling in South America, just to really help strengthen the gut and to strengthen the intestines. And also, it can help in kind of purifying any kind of parasites that are sitting there from, leftover like a little travel gift. But it is strong. You can also use it to treat candida internally. And again, I would use it sparingly. On the skin, it's very strong. You want to dilute heavily to use it on the skin. And yeah, internally would be my kind of go-to with oregano. In the diffuser, probably not so nice. Maybe, you know, at the end of a party when you want to get rid of everyone in your house, you could put oregano in the diffuser and they would probably run out the door. But yeah, or for cooking. You can use it for cooking on in like pasta recipes, or on pizza, or in salad dressings. It can be really nice. But yeah, mainly I would say internally for digestive and immune support. I'm going to see just here briefly what doTERRA put. They say take several drops in an empty capsule for periodic immune support. Dilute and apply to the bottom of the feet of kids and adults as a natural defense, and then use internally as part of a monthly cleansing regime for gut and intestinal health. So there you go, oregano. Okay, so there aren't many left. We've just got 2 left to share from this lovely pack. So the next one I'll share is Melaleuca. Melaleuca is also known as tea tree. There you go. This is a lovely oil. This is also safe, very safe to use undiluted on the skin, although for kids, again, I would dilute. I do know people that have used it undiluted on like children, kind of teenagers, to treat, you know, various skin issues. It's amazing for acne. It's amazing for any kind of fungal issues. Really amazing for herpes simplex. And you can use it straight, like on the skin, you know, especially if you're kind of an adult or a teen. And then I would dilute for younger children. You can take it internally to help purifying cleanse, and then energetically it's kind of used to help. It's sort of, how to explain, it's like if you feel that there is some kind of energetic vampirism going on. So if you feel that you're in a situation or a relationship, or you're kind of going to be in a social environment where there is a lot of kind of social energy going on, and people are really kind of sucking away your energy, if that makes sense. So those relationships that we have where it's all about the other person, and you kind of come away from whatever encounter or meeting with them and you feel completely drained because they're just kind of, you know, unconsciously draining you of all your energy. So Melaleuca, tea tree, can be really good for helping protect us with that. You can put it in your hands, you know, rub it on your hands, and then just give yourself a full body sweep, for example. You could put it on your wrist points, on the soles of your feet, put it on your heart space. So yeah, that's kind of emotionally, energetically what it can help with. And then again, yeah, it's just a really good aid for the skin, any kind of skin irritation or flare up. You can use it in combination with lavender, because tea tree is antibacterial, so it will really help to kind of cleanse and purify the area. But then lavender will help because it's an antihistamine. Lavender will help if there's any inflammation or if there's any kind of soreness. Lavender will really help. So the combination of the two can be very helpful. doTERRA say about Melaleuca, apply to skin blemishes as part of a daily cleansing program. Use with shampoo or conditioner for healthy scalp and hair. and then apply to feet and toenails after showering, swimming, or working out. So again, it's kind of dealing with those sort of fungal skin issues. And the last one in this pack is called Deep Blue. And this is a blend. Again, you can't take this one internally. It has a safety cap on there as well. Deep Blue is a blend for muscle ache and joint pain. So it has camphor as a base, wintergreen, peppermint, blue tansy, blue chamomile, helichrysum, and osmanthus flower. And this is just great. This is really good for any aches and pains, knee trouble, knee joint pain. You can use it to massage. So if you are going to an osteopath, or if you go and have massage treatments regularly, you can ask the practitioner if they don't mind using a little bit. You don't need much at all. I would dilute it heavily as well when you're using it on the skin, because it's very, very powerful. It has that kind of cooling effect, almost like deep heat in its most natural form. So yeah, it just helps to cool and soothe tired bone, like tired muscles, aches and pains. What else does it say here? Yeah, you can rub it on muscles before and after exercise, and like you can use it in deep tissue massage. So that is everything. That is the whole pack, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, you've got all 10 there. So yeah, I know that I've just recently given a lot of classes on this, but I thought I would record a quick kind of guide through all of these oils. You know, the majority of them are safe to take internally. The only ones you don't take internally would be Breathe and Deep Blue. Lavender, just as a quick run through, lavender and melaleuca are probably safe to use in some cases directly on the skin, and the rest of them you would want to be looking at diluting. So this is what it looks like for those of you that have not seen it. So this is, it's like a kind of first aid kit that doTERRA have put together, and yeah, I think it's really intelligently thought out and put together, and I think it's a great introduction just for a home collection of oils that you can treat really the majority of common illnesses and complaints with these natural remedies. So if you need any more information, please just write or email me, or you can message me, and we can catch up at a later date. Please feel free to leave your comments underneath this video. I'd love to hear about your experiences. For those of you that are just starting out by using these oils, there's so much that we can learn together. And if you haven't got or haven't experienced any of these oils yet, then please, and you would like to, please get in touch. You know, it's a lovely way to kind of, you know, for this Christmas, it's a lovely way to introduce someone or yourself or your family to some very, very potent natural healers. So I hope that's been useful, and thank you again for tuning in, and we will see each other soon.